Okay, guys, so let me get situated here. We are going to be talking about the volumes of pyramids and cones and how to find them. And so remember that volume equals the area of your base, big B, times your height. So here, in this case, we're going to find the area of our base. And we'll notice that it's marked with these congruency symbols, meaning that if this is 6, then all of these sides are 6. So the area of our base is going to be equal to 6 times 6, which is 36. And then our height, if it's a pyramid, has to come from the top and be perpendicular straight to the bottom. From the point right there, all the way perpendicular to the bottom. And so our height is 4 centimeters. So centimeters. We're going to do 4 times 36, and we will get, hold on one second. I did that wrong. Oh, my goodness. I forgot that you have to divide by 3 when it's a pyramid. Oops. Sorry, guys. So we're going to do 4 times 36, and we will get 4 times 36 equals 144, and then we have to divide that by 3, and we will get our volume is equal to 48. It says round to the nearest tenth, but because it's a whole number, we don't need to. So area of the base, big B, times your height, all divided by 3. Okay, well, here, number 4 of these evens, we can go ahead and find the area of our base. It's a square pyramid. So again, we know that all 4 sides are equal. So our big B is going to be equal to 1.2 times 1.2, which is equal to 1.44, like 12 times 12, 144. And then we need to multiply it by our height. But if you notice, we don't know our height. We do, however, know that right here a right triangle is created. So if you see, I went ahead and drew it over to the side, and I see that this piece, because it's right in the middle, right? So half of 1.2 is 0.6, and that the hypotenuse is equal to 12.8. So what I would do is I would go ahead and use the Pythagorean Theorem. So I'm going to say x squared plus 0.6 squared equals 2.8 squared. All right, I'll go ahead and do the math, and I'll get x squared plus 0.36 equals 7.84. I'll subtract, and I'll get x squared equals 7.48, and then I will take the square root and get x equals 2.7. So now I actually know the height of my square pyramid. So I know that my base is equal to 1.44. I now know that my height is equal to 2.7. I'm going to multiply those two and divide by 3. 1.44 times 2.7 divided by 3, and I will get 1.3 as my answer. Round to the nearest tenth, that's 1 decimal place. And remember, in the Go formatives, we're not really writing the units, so don't worry about that. Okay, so number 6 is kind of the same thing. Again, I'm missing my height, all right, but I know that a right triangle is formed, and I know that half of 5 is 2.5, and that my hypotenuse across from my 90-degree angle is 14.2. So again, I'm going to use the Pythagorean Theorem, and that is going to be x squared plus 2.5 squared equals 14.2 squared. Okay, I'll have x squared equals 6.25 equals 201.64. I'll subtract, I'll get x squared equals 195.39. And I'll take the square root and get x equals 13.978. All right, and that's my height. I need to find the area of my base, which the area of my base is going to be 5 times 5, so 25. I know that my height is 13.978. I will multiply those two. 25 times 13.978. I'll divide them all by 3 because it's a pyramid, and I will get my volume is equal to 116.5 meters cubed. But again, because we aren't just writing the units right now, just it makes it easier for the go formative. Okay, so now to the nearest cubic centimeter. Well, this one's kind of nice because they already went ahead. And wait, okay, so you'll notice in the directions it says find in terms of pi and rounded as indicated. So nearest cubic centimeter. In the go formative, I'm not having you guys write in terms of pi. I'm just having you write the decimal. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to find the area of the base. We're going to multiply it by the height, and then we're going to divide it by 3. And we're going to write it as a decimal. We're going to include pi in there. So if you notice, this is a circle, and the area of a circle is equal to pi times the radius squared. So it looks like my radius, it looks like it's only pointing to my radius, not my diameter. So my radius, I'm going to say, is equal to 8. And if I were to square that, I would end up with 64. And then, so my radius squared times pi, which is going to be 3.14 is what we're going to use. So 64 times 3.14 is going to give us 200.96. All right, we're going to go ahead and multiply that by 12. So we went ahead and found the area of our base, which is 200.96. We did 64 times 3.14, and we got 200.96. Now we're going to multiply it by our height. So I'm running out of room. These little worksheets, 200.96 times 12. So times 12. And we end up with 2411.52. We need to divide that by 3. Okay, so dividing that by 3, we end up with 803.84. 803.84. However, this part might have been pointing to the whole circumference, the whole diameter. So this one, it's just hard to tell based off of the image. So it might be a little bit bigger than, this might be a little bigger than it was intended because I solved it with 8 as my radius. Okay, so let's move on to number 10. And again, this is finding the volume, and it's going to be volume equals pi r squared times your height, all divided by 3, because it is kind of a cone, an off-shaping cone. Sorry, minor child interruption there. Okay, so I'm going to assume that this whole thing, 42, is my diameter, which would mean that my radius would be equal to 21. So in order to find the area of my circle, I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to have 21. I'm going to square it. I'm going to multiply it by 3.14. So give me a second while I do that. 21 squared, and then times 3.14 would give me 1384.74. All right, so that's the area of my circle. Now I need to multiply that by my height, which is 12. So I'm going to take that and multiply it by 12. And I will get 166.88. And I need to divide that by 3. So divided by 3. And I should end up with 538.96 or something along those lines. Okay, it says round to the nearest whole number, so let's just go ahead and say 5,539. Sorry, some distractions going on. It's hard to focus. All right, and then number 12, it's going to be the same type of thing. Okay, so number 12. Again, I'm going to assume that my radius is 14, that this whole thing is my diameter. So to find my area of my circle, I'm going to do 14 squared times 3.14, my pi. So when I square 14, I get 196. And then I'm going to multiply that by 3.14. And that's going to be 615.44. All right, so that's going to be the area of my circle. All right, my radius squared times 3.14. Now I need to take that 615.44, and I'm going to multiply it by my height of this elliptical cone, which is 25. So times 25. And that will give me about 15,386. And keep in mind, since it comes to a point, I need to divide it by 3. So I will divide that by 3. And I will get approximately 5,129 because it says to round to a whole number. That's about where I am. And then for number 14, this one's going to be a bit of a doozy because we have two shapes. That's a composite figure, right? First thing I'm going to do is just find the area of my first shape. I'll just go ahead and say that that's a rectangular prism or a rectangular pyramid. So I need to find the area of my base. So first of all, I'm just going to write this to show you that I'm finding this triangle at the top. I think I said rectangular pyramid at first, but this triangular pyramid. So I'm going to find the area of my base, which if I pay attention right here, I see that this is 10 and that this is 10. So I know that the area of this base is 100. I'm going to multiply it by my height, which is 13, looking at that picture. And I will get 1,300, but remember it comes to a point, so I have to divide by 3. So 1,300 divided by 3, and that equals 433.3 repeating. All right, so that's the area of this piece right here. So of my top triangular, square, rectangular prism. And now I'm going to go ahead and find the area of this square prism down here. So I need to find the area of my base, and I'll just go ahead and write a square. The area of my base is going to be 100. And then I'm going to multiply it by my height, which is 10, which will leave me 1,000. So now I just get to add these two together, right? The area of this one plus the area of that one. So it says whole number. I'm not going to include the decimal. I'm going to do 1,000 plus 433, and I'll get 1,433 as my answer. Okay. So same thing when you guys are doing this, just go ahead and find the area of the cone, of both cones. And for this one, you're going to want to subtract them. So you're going to want to take your bigger cone's volume and subtract your smaller cone's volume. Here, you're going to want to add them. You'll find the area of your cylinder, and then you'll find the area of your cone, and you'll add them together. For my last one, this one was kind of nice because it says, find the value of x in each figure. Leave the answers in simple radical form. They are not drawn to scale. Okay, so it wants me to find the volume of x. Well, if I know that my volume is equal to the area of my base times my height divided by 3, I can go ahead and figure out what my height is. So my base is, the area of my base is going to be 225 because 15 times 15 equals 225. We're trying to figure out what in the world my height is. It's divided by 3, and we know that it ends up equaling 1,500. Okay, so 225. I don't know why I wrote 222. So area of my base is 225 divided by 3. All right, equals 1,500. So to get rid of this 3, I have to multiply both sides by 3. And these will cancel out. I'll end up with 225h equals 1500 times 3, 4,500, which I'll divide by 225. And I will get my height equals 20. All right, you'll want to do something similar here. So this time they have it in terms of pi. Remember, it's your volume is equal to pi r squared times your height, which in this case is 6, all divided by 3. So the area of your base, pi r squared, we don't know our radius, right? Times your height, which is 6, all divided by 3. And remember, you know that your volume equals 8 pi. So try to work backwards and solve it that way. All right. Bye, guys.